Hi, I'm Nick Bonner for TreeStuff.com, and we all know there aren't too many things that are worse than dropping your chainsaw in the tree. But I can tell you one thing that for sure is getting hit in the head with a chainsaw that somebody else dropped. If you don't want to drop your chainsaw, you need to have some type of chainsaw lanyard, some way to hold it in the tree. Back in the day, that looked like this. Simple webbing loop with a metal ring. All you would do is hook this onto the back of your saw here, girth hitch the ring through, and when you weren't using your saw, you would stow it on the side of your harness, and when you were, you would unstow it. The problem with this was if you dropped it, it was still going all the way down to the ground. Chainsaw lanyards eventually started to look more like this. You would girth hitch to the saw here, and then you would clip this end to your harness for your long connection. And then when you wanted to stow the saw, you would clip this ring onto the dog snap on your harness. These are fine, and they're plenty strong enough to hold your chainsaw, and they're simple, and they're inexpensive. It's a good option, and it's certainly better than nothing. I've seen a lot of different iterations of these simple lanyards, and what happened is people started to incorporate elasticity or bungee. Still the same amount of strength, but it allows it to keep it stowed a little neater on your side. This lanyard here is a type of lanyard that includes a shock absorber. So if you drop your saw, or if your saw were to become snatched in a cut, this will either shock absorb or totally tear away at a stated load. And you can actually feel that underneath here. It's sewn up, and the stitching will expand and break when you drop the saw or if it were to be yanked away from you. This can be especially important, like I said, if the saw gets caught in a cut, say you're cutting, the branch breaks or barber chairs early and it goes with it, it could pull your saw, and if your lanyard didn't break away for some reason, you could potentially injure yourself. This is another breakaway lanyard. You'll start to see differences here. This one has a dog snap. This one has a ring. That's just personal preference based on how you like to use it. Some people will girth hitch the lanyard to the back of their harness and leave it there permanently and clip this to the saw. There's really not necessarily a right or a wrong way to do it. It all just comes down to personal preference. Another breakaway lanyard from Buckingham. This one with a ring and a snap and a snap. Again, these are just kind of riffing on the same idea. This one, same thing, just two rings. So these all function pretty much the same way. Here from Weaver, we have an expandable one, but this is not a breakaway. So this does not have a listed breakaway strength. It obviously will break at some amount, but it's not designed to tear away if you're using it. So these are some of the more basic chainsaw lanyards that we offer. We also have some pretty nice premium options, and that's what I'm going to show you next. This is the Recoil Big Boss. This is a really heavy-duty lanyard. It's also incredibly elastic. This one stretches out longer than any of the lanyards that we have, and it's really heavy-duty. If you're carrying a large rear-handled saw, this is a great option because the way it coils up like this, it also stays really, really neat for such a large chainsaw lanyard. The Big Boss is one of our best sellers for sure. There are a couple different options, what I call skinnies. Again, these are not designed as breakaway, but they are very lightweight tool and chainsaw lanyards. These would girth hitch around the saw and then clip to your harness, or in the case of this one here from Tango, this has a ring and a double split ring here. This double split ring does act as a type of breakaway. You would thread this on to the ring of the chainsaw, and these will break at a load that's not going to damage your body. So that's something else to consider. Next, we're going to look at the Quick Cinch from Notch. This is a standard kind of elasticized lanyard, and it has a girth hitch on the end and a ring here, and then it has this new Quick Cinch functionality, which is really cool. I always liked to have a carabiner at the chainsaw end of my lanyard, and I like to girth hitch the lanyard to my harness. So with this, you would girth hitch this to your harness back here, and then this end simply goes on here, and then this loop tucks through the ring like this, and then you can take any carabiner and capture this loop. And not only does that hook it onto the saw, but it gives you a nice solid ring to hold it by that you can also clip directly onto a gear loop. I really like this. It's an easy way to bring the saw around, and if I'm moving it across my body, I feel really comfortable having this carabiner to hold on to. And then with this end girth hitched around the back, I still have full reach to either side of my body. This is a really nice option. The Notch Quick Cinch. This is brand new. Also digging this material. It's very nicely made. Tight weave. Good stuff. This is another new option from Notch, and while it looks like the Quick Cinch, it's actually different. This is the updated modular chainsaw lanyard. This used to be sold, and it was bright green. This was a TreeStuff product way back in the day. And what's really nice about this is that it separates here. This piece, you can buy extras of these, and then this one stays permanently on your saddle. So you girth hitch this around your saddle, you just leave it on all the time. This stays on the saw, and you girth hitch this like this. So when your saw needs some more gas, this saw doesn't because it's electric, or if you need to send the saw down to get a bigger saw, you don't have to remove your chainsaw lanyard. You simply have it clipped to the back of your harness, disconnect it like this, and send that saw down. You can also just keep it in the truck, disconnect it from your harness, put your harness on, time to go up into the tree, simply connect it back up, and you're good to go. These plastic buckles also operate as a breakaway function. So if you encounter a load that would hurt your body, these plastic buckles are going to break and allow the saw to go. That's a brief look at some of the different chainsaw lanyards that we offer. To be honest with you, I don't really care which one you use, but I really encourage you to use one. Dropping a chainsaw is very dangerous and it's hazardous to your equipment budget too. So check out a chainsaw lanyard at treestuff.com and use the coupon code online for 7% off pretty much everything we sell. Thanks for watching.